Oh, we
Hey,
all
what's
over.
going on?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Hey, y'all.
What's up?
How y'all doing this afternoon?
Absolutely. Yeah, we can tell
It's
somebody
nine.
it's
It's 9:02 Eastern Standard Time.
Mm.
night. It is night.
It's nighttime.
In the
So-
nighttime.
Look, check this out. I'm Sharita C.W. Dela Cruz, and this is the Middlepage Podcast, powered by Blast Music 24/7, Esoteric Entertainment, and you, everybody, is having a good evening
Yeah.
Yes.
this evening.
Yes.
Sunshine, you having a good day? Did you have a good day?
Yep.
All right, and everybody who's not aware, this is Sunshine's birth date today,
Happy
and
birthday.
All right,
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay.
but yes,
We does it all out here.
check this out. Today we've explored father-daughter dynamics, and we touched on that. I think we said we may have another show for that, but what we have not spoken on is the mother-son dynamics in growth and development. Physical, emotional, and social development of children starts with their parents. And Sigmund Freud has said that the relationship with the opposite sex parent is pivotal because it gives that child the ability to know what to understand or expect from people of the opposite sex as they grow. Mothers and sons, their relationships are special because, for me, I can just speak for myself. I guess you could say it. My relationship with my son has always been like, I don't know, the nurturing aspect, because men don't necessarily nurture the way that, the way the mothers do. And Sunshine has sons. So would you attest to that? Would you consider that to be true?
Yeah. Because, we have that maternal feminine balance, but, I'm rough around the edges, so
Me too.
they get it straight up raw, no chasing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, even down to health stuff, like, my sons knew when I had a breast scare. It was like, "Mommy, you all right? How your breast feeling today?" Like, like that type of thing.
Yeah.
So, you have to make them aware. And they know. They said it's nothing wrong. That is the proper term for it. So so they will definitely be prepared for whoever they are. I always tell them, nah, she got to be better than me.
I know that's right.
She got to be better than me, but you better be able to do for yourself, because you don't need to depend on any woman, because that's how a lot of y'all end up getting trapped.
Right. And we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that and give our viewers an understanding of what those characteristics might look like. Especially if your daughter-in-law, we're middle-aged, so we'll go ahead and connect the dots. We're at middle age, and sometimes mother-son relationships look different over the times. Men get married, and sometimes the mom don't know how to understand his dynamic with his wife. I had seen that firsthand with my brother and his wife and my mom. My mom is just like, my mom would love her son, but at the same time, my brother loves his wife, and he stands firm on that, and he puts his foot down, and in great ways. Absolutely. Real quick, let's talk about how the guys feel about mother-son relationships. unless you want to be transparent in that way, you can just tell us about what your ideology is about mother-son relationships, or you could give your own relationship with your moms as an example.
I'll go first. I know for me growing up, you know, when my mom was living and everything like that, she taught me a lot because my dad was around. I watched her with my granddad, how she took care of him, how they had a closer relationship, even though my granddad had other kids, but my mom was like the favorite because she took care of him. She made sure he had everything that he needed, you know. And then the way my mom taught me, you know, I can't say for my brother because he was much older than me. You know, he was already like in his 20s and stuff like that. But for me, having that relationship with my mom, especially growing up as a young man, you know, going to school, playing sports and stuff like that, getting jobs. I used to go out, you know, to her jobs, work with her and stuff like that. She taught me how to be independent, you know, not to rely on another person. Right. She taught me how to cook. She taught me how to clean. She taught me how to wash clothes. I remember one time me and my sister was in the house. My mom was sick and she wanted to cook for us, but she couldn't. And the first thing she taught me how to cook was stewed turkey wings. I was like so nervous because when she make her turkey wings, it was all off the chain, and I was so scared. But she taught me step by step, and to this day, she was so proud of me because I cooked it almost just like how she cooked it. And from that point on, I was like, to get her blessing of cooking and everything, and a lot of things from her that she have done, I got from her. Like, I love landscaping. I'm a great landscaper. She was a great gardener, so she had a green thumb. So she taught me a lot of values and stuff like that. You know, growing up and to who I am now, especially with my relationship with my kids. You know how I'm so structured with them and everything like that, even though I'm a single parent.
Indeed. The relationship that you start to develop with your mom, it's a close bond even when you get older. Mm-hmm. She still sees you as your baby boy no matter how old you get or what you do in life. Mm-hmm. And I noticed that dynamic. It's different with a father to a daughter. But with a mother to her son, like I said, it don't matter how old you get, you still can get an ass whooping by her. And she still wants to reign supreme in your life most times. But I always give her honor. I always give her respect when do, I believe in that. And even to this day, I'm, helping out moms whenever she needs it, I was going to read something that Mr. Jackson had put down. He said he has a good relationship. All right, let me read it how he said it. I have a good relationship with my mom, but there's some things about her personality that I don't want to pick up as I get older. That's understandable.
That's what's up. And thank you for coming in, Elliot.
Yeah. But there's some things about my mom, too, that I'm like, I don't want to pick that up. So I get it. There's just things as being a man and you get older, you just want to live your life. Mm-hmm. And sometimes moms is still in mom mode. Yeah. But I still love her for it because she always has my back. As a matter of fact, did y'all hear about that story about the football player who his wife is forcing him and trying to get his pockets?
And everything is in his mama name.
Mom has 80% of all of it. He don't even own clothes on his back, yo.
Well, anytime he wants something, his mama give him the money for it. She buy it.
That is the definition of a mama's boy.
But that was ingenious because it might have. We don't know how that happened. But let's think positively. Let's think, when he became on a level of athletics where he felt like he might start to make some money. Maybe his lawyer or his mom even said, hey, go ahead and start putting your assets in my name, so no one will be able to take it from you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Sophia. And man, that woman did not even know. She thought she was going to the bank, and she didn't. I was so proud of him for that.
I mean, because that's smart, even though that he has a close relationship with his mom, but at the same time, he's protecting his future. You know what I'm saying? That's the key to the whole thing. He's protecting his future by putting everything his mom named, because we all know that the way society is set up now, you got people out here just, you say one thing or you do something, or you could be out with somebody and they say, oh, he did this, and you go into court, or your pocket's getting hit. Now, granted, there are some people that are doing some criminal stuff out there, but you got to protect yourself at all costs. I mean, that's smart, and I'm sure that his mom probably taught him how to protect himself growing up, to making sure that you be aware of certain things, especially athletes or get targeted quickly, more quicker than anybody, so
So real quick, guys, let's share with one another. I think we touched on it, but we can kind of delve more deeply into it. What are some good character traits between mothers and sons? Good character traits. I'll start with. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say there was a development, definitely. I was raised a mom's single parent, so I learned a whole level of trusting with her. I pretty much. The dynamic was basically God and then mom, you know what I'm saying? And that distance was real short in between. So the belief factor and what mom said was very important. And then, like my man Martin says, my mom installed a lot of, you ain't gonna have to trust in no woman type of techniques. I learned how to hem pants, how to iron, how to cook. You know what I'm saying? She
has some good old Southern mamas.
Yeah, she was all about that. You need to do for yourself and not depend on anyone. But so definitely, there's some women that had to, give their all being a single parent, and my mom is definitely one of them. And she wore many hats in that case, including disciplinarian. So it is what it is.
What about you, Sunshine? What are good character traits of a mom between mothers and sons? Like
communication, communication in all relationships, human relationships, is the number one factor, and especially with mothers and sons, it's because of the simple fact of the dynamic of the different biological makeup. That's already it can already be a barrier. So the being able to have the door like that line of communication open, it also knocks down a lot of barriers where, if it's really, really that dope of a communication pathway, that, there will be no hidden secrets, because like I remind my sons all the time, like, look, I know you get in situations where you feel more about protecting you, or maybe you're behind, but lying to me or omitting any information is just as damaging as a lie. So there's no way that I can bat for you if you don't give me the whole truth. I'ma always rock with you. I'ma always ride for you, even if you're wrong. But just know, after I finish riding for you, especially in a situation where you're wrong, we're gonna go talk about that when we get back to the house. But where we right now, you belong to me, so I'm gonna never have you feeling like you are left to the side or you're exposed, because that's not what we do. That's not how we protect our children, especially our young Black sons, because for the simple fact that if they feel like that from their mothers, they're not going to trust no woman in their life.
Right.
And then they're definitely not going to trust any type of authoritative figures, because mothers are God in the children's eyes. You know, the woman is the first teacher, no matter how many people try to discredit that or get away from that. Because technically by design, we are the ones, the nurturer, to take care of the children. So yes, every first thing that they're taught is from us because they're housed in us. So they're learning from the time of conception as they develop. So, it's
That's
just
good.
a matter of making sure that it's not being a friend, though. People get that twisted.
That part.
It's definitely not being a friend. Because I tell them two little knuckleheads quick, I ain't your friend. I am not your friend. Well, I don't gotta like you. I just gotta make sure, you know what I'm saying, like that I do this and I do what I'm supposed to do. I'm not your friend, I'm your mama. That's not your friend, that's your brother. Those are different titles. So we move accordingly as such.
Yeah.
That's right. I like that. What about you, Martin? What are some good characteristic traits between mothers and sons?
Oh man, one that's resonates with me a lot is hard work. My mom always been a hard worker. It didn't matter what kind of job it was. Me and my sister, we seen her work these jobs. Like I said, that when it was summertime and she had these jobs, we would go out. My mom used to pick flowers. We used to go out and pick flowers with her in the summertime. You know what I'm saying? And to this day, like, me and my sister work hard on our jobs. We will work overtime. It doesn't matter. It's like, and this, and so and independence too. She taught us how to be independent a little bit too, but work hard. Always show value. You got people. Some men these days, young men, older men, don't like to work. Don't have no work ethic. You know what I'm saying? They'd rather meet a woman that has it together. Yeah, you'll meet a woman that, she's nice. She want to be there for you, nurture you, take care of you, want to make you feel like that king. But you got guys that don't want to work for nothing and want to, don't have that, whatever, however they upbringing is, they don't know how to appreciate a woman. You know what I'm saying? My mom taught me how to appreciate a woman, a little bit more so than just saying, hey, when you do get a woman and she see the qualities that you have, she's going to appreciate that because she knows that you work hard, you know how to take care of house, you know how to provide, and you know how to understand. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, that's what I look at right there.
Good stuff. For me, good character traits are emotional intelligence, like being able to bounce between situations in a good way mentally, attitudes, being able to control emotions like anger and things of that nature. I think that contributes to a man being talked to consistently by his mom on how to communicate, like Sunshine says. Like, my son and I, we have a great communication under normal circumstances. So, I've always told him, kind of like in the book of James, be slow to speak, quick to listen, because anger is not right in God's sight. And, you can't get anywhere with an angry person or someone yelling. You can't get around that. It's better to be even-tempered. If you actually are pissed off about something, express that you're pissed off about it. But don't, necessarily like be screaming on women, And then that kind of goes hand in hand with respecting women. Yeah. A good character trait, you can tell if a guy was raised well. And treats a woman well. Is how he treated his mama. You can tell if a dude don't respect women, he has a problem with somebody.
Yeah.
And I'm not, a psychiatrist or nothing like that, but most of the time it probably stemmed from the mother trying to emasculate a bit, or even the absence thereof, and didn't have a good example of motherhood.
Yeah.
So, I guess that'll segue into bad traits. What are some bad traits between mothers and sons? I'll continue on to say entitlement. I guess this is where we could kind of touch on the mama's boy situation. I think anybody who thinks about mother-son relationships, the first red flag, if you want to talk about modern day society terms, the first one is the red flag, mama's boy. And no woman wants to be involved with someone who's necessarily a mama's boy unless he knows how to control it or control his mother. And men, I guess there are more advantages to a man being a mama's boy rather than, to the woman. What do y'all speak on? What would y'all say about that? Mama's boy situations what do you think that stems from? What do you think that, for our listeners, we like to try to break it down so they'll understand as well. Where do you think that comes from? Men who are mama's boys, so to speak.
I guess I'd take a stab at it. I think, not having a male figure around, the father in the household, not showing him how to stand up to be a man. There's some mothers, that could be overprotective, you know what I'm saying? Coddle the sons too much, making him feel less value where he can't blossom or become a young man to stand on his own, you know what I'm saying? It shows, I guess I don't want to use the term signs of weakness, but I think you can, because it shows signs of weakness in a man. Because if he's a mama's boy, and he becomes on his own, and he don't know how to do things, and he sits there and be just waiting for somebody to do everything for him. He doesn't understand how to have that projection of being a man, so to speak, And just like what you touched on earlier, Sharita, is that, no sense of responsibility, So, that's just a few things right there.
I think we have way too many parents, whether it be single moms or with their dad, that aren't disciplining their children because they want to be friends with them rather than, discipline them when they're wrong. And so these kids aren't being taught, the proper way. So they're a menace to society. So the lack of discipline has affected a lot, because there's nothing more that bothers me than a kid that's disrespecting their parents.
Oh yeah, that's my number. That's my pet. Yeah, that's my pet peeve.
I feel like for the sake of the adult community to spank their child for them.
Right.
I'll be a representative. Because man, like when a kid is showing out in public and then the parent is just, come on, stop that, come on.
I think my face is too, what's the word? When that happens, my looks end up convicting the mother in question. Because, it's one of those.
It's like, do something.
Right.
And then they look like, oh, I am so sorry. Handle that.
Don't apologize to me.
Because I don't want your child shooting up my child's school later on in life.
That part.
Right. So, Sunshine, what can you speak on as far as mama's boys and how they're created?
Well, there's different mama's boys, though. We hear the generalization of mama's boys is the ones that mama does everything, boy don't know what to do, whatever. That's one side of the mama's boys. Then you got the other side of the mama's boys where the mother is the only parent, but that mother made sure that those sons know everything, how to provide, what a man should be like, because she makes sure that there's some type of positive male influences around that pour into them. So even though it's not directly coming from her, she puts them in pathways to, get poured on.
Oh no, but that's positive.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's a mama's boy. Those are mama's boys too, because everything that they learned in life came from who? Their mama. But instead of her doing, she showed them how to do. They become producers. Not takers.
Yeah.
In that aspect. So mama's boys, depending on who you speaking on, it's not necessarily a negative connotation attached to it. It's basically what I'm saying.
Thank you for breaking up that facade, because a lot of times, hell, even me just now, you just helped me that there is a difference. It doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing to be a mom's boy, so to speak, because like you said, creating producers, not takers. I think that is like the biggest takeaway from what you said, and thank you so much for that.
I think early in the segment we did kind of like alluded to that, but Sunshine did kind of like broke it down a little bit more,
as she always does,
because we kind of like did alluded to it throughout all our segments a little bit. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. And see, that's exactly why.
That's why.
Mm-hmm.
like just yesterday, my brother sent me a message, and I responded and I said Aki, and so Isham was standing next to me, so I looked at him and he said Aki. I said, yeah, Aki means brother, in Arabic. So he stood there. He said, okay. My Aki threw me in the wall earlier in the room. So when Elisha came out the room, he then broke it down to Elisha how I broke it down to him. So then Elisha said, oh, okay, I get it. Okay, Aki, come on, let's go over here and sit down and eat. So, like the word association, like anything I introduce them to or they hear and they ask about, like immediately they go into the word association, okay, let me see how I can use this in a sentence. So like those type of examples right there. I know mine are mama's boys. I know it. I know they are.
They are?
I know they are. Because especially Isham, oh my gosh, but Elisha being my firstborn son, he really is, but because he's getting older, he's 11 now, 2 weeks in, and it's like, he's getting more laid back, trying to get into his, because the hormones is kicking in. I see it. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny because, you know what I'm saying? And it's like just watching him not fully understand what's happening to him. So we had those conversations, and then it's like, oh, come on, Mom. Like, Mom, we're not going to talk about that now. Yes, we are. You know what I'm saying? Like those type of conversations. So, but it's, it's like, so again, being smart enough to know, okay, let me keep Uncle so over here. Go talk to your nephew about this, because I see this going on, and he don't comfortable as of yet to talk to me. So can you have this conversation with him? You know what I'm saying? Like as mothers, that's what we have to do. We can't to reach out to the village. Like, come on, that's what we're here for. So, those type of things. But it's just no matter what, it's the communication. You can have everything else, and then if your communication is garbage, like all that other work was for nothing.
Absolutely. Yeah, like with my son, like I feel like he was a mama's boy, and I think I might have done too much for both of my kids. You know how sometimes I got caught up in the whole facade of trying to make sure. I'm just saying, like,
no, but we're not going to use that. I'm not going to allow you to use that. You already know how I am.
I know.
I'm not going to allow you to use that.
Okay. Well, I don't know how I'm going to say it, but I'm going to say
much how you felt you needed to be for your children.
Right.
Your job. That's your duty. None of us.
See,
are
But
to.
see,
No, I mean, people will say, but what you felt, remember that they came from you. So,
but I'm saying, given their behavior,
criteria.
I'm saying, given their behavior now, Sunshine, I came. Hold on. I came.
That's what I'm saying. But what you gave was what came from here, and that's what I'm trying to get you to understand. Never say you gave too much.
Okay, I won't say it.
You produced what you were supposed to do. Now, what they chose to do with it on the receiving end is totally up to them.
Gotcha.
You gave, like what we say, oh, mothers give their all. You know what I'm saying? You gave your all. So who would say that that's too much?
Yeah.
I would say that because it came from a place, okay, you know how we talk a lot about undoing negative behavior that we learned as youth and carried it on into adulthood, and we have to undo those behaviors in order to get back to zero and be able to do positive things. So growing up, financial responsibility to your children was like A1 in my family. And so when I say gave too much, I'm talking about maybe not enough of other stuff, but I definitely gave all the financial support and responsibility that I could to my kids, therefore kind of entitling them to a certain degree. So my son and I, we have great communication, but I also feel like, I only say that I feel like I gave too much because I might not have given enough in other areas to give a balance, if that makes sense.
It makes sense, but still in all, you can't control the receiver.
Indeed.
You cannot control the receiver. So what you put out, you can't determine how it's digested or ingested. You feel what I'm saying? And
right.
What they choose to do with it after, you could have did everything right by the T, and they still could turn out to be a wild damn mess. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't blame yourself then. You did everything that you were supposed to do. It's
I'm in a great place now.
Yeah, it's how they internalize it. Because they are their own people, no matter how much we try to instill things to guide them, because we're not forcing them, we're setting guidelines and hope that they pass them. If the foundation is strong enough, no matter how many times they stray or go do their own thing, when that don't work, they're gonna come right back to the foundation, the first thing that they was taught. So as long as you did your due diligence to create that foundation, anything after that, man, put your feet up and drink a martini or something, because that's for them to figure out.
And I toast to that. That, among other wisdom points with Sunshine, she's just like, that's why I celebrate her today, because she just always brings the thing back around and have evidence to back it up, like she's a spiritual attorney. She has proof beyond a reasonable doubt. You feel me? So with that, we're gonna go to the Blast Artist of the Week. Veep, what we got?
This is my homeboy representing Durham, North Carolina. This is Elijah Rosario, and this is Aura. Check it out. All right.
Should've known, baby. Should've known, baby. Should've known, baby. Should've known. Should've known. It's your mind, it's your wave, it's your aura. Wanna get to know you. Wanna get to know you. By the way you work those hills, you'll be dressed to kill. Wanna get to know you. Wanna get to know. It's your mind, it's your wave, it's your aura. Wanna get to know you. Wanna get to know. By the way you work those hills, you'll be dressed to kill. Wanna get to know you. Wanna get to know. I'm digging your style. I love it when you smile. Any room you walk into, girl, you always shut it down. Got a Coke bottle shape. When you walk, I see it shake. Wanna take it off display. Come and take a ride with me. Girl, if you just give me time, I'll enhance your mind. If I brought you flowers for no reason, would you mind? Make love just how you want it. Cook breakfast every morning. Before you go to work, we get it poppin', got you moaning. It's your mind, it's your wave, it's your aura. Wanna get to know you, wanna get to know you. By the way you work those hills, you be dressed to kill. Wanna get to know you, wanna get to know. It's your mind, it's your wave, it's your aura. Wanna get to know you, wanna get to know. By the way you work those hills, you be dressed to kill. Wanna get to know you, wanna get to know. I need you in my life, 'cause the way you make me feel, all these butterflies. I said I want you as my own, please let it be known I'm chasing you. 'Cause I'll follow you through heaven and hell just to be close to you. It's all I wanna do, yeah. 'Cause you know it's your mind, it's your wave, it's your aura. Wanna get to know you, wanna get to know you. By the way you work those hills, you be dressed to kill. Wanna get to know you, wanna get to know you. It's your mind, it's your wave, it's your aura. Wanna get to know you, wanna get to know. By the way you work those hills, you be dressed to kill. Wanna get to know you, 'cause it's your, 'cause it's your. It's your mind, it's your wave, it's your aura. Wanna get to know you, wanna get to know you. By the way you work those hills, you be dressed to kill. Wanna get to know you, wanna get to know. It's your mind, it's your wave, it's your aura. Wanna get to know you, wanna get to know. By the way you work those hills, you be dressed to kill. Wanna get to know you, wanna get to know.
And again, that is Elijah Rosario with Aura. And if
nice.
Yes, indeed. And if you are an artist or an up-and-coming comedian or spoken word poet that would like some exposure, you can go to blastmusic247.com and register for free. That's blastmusic247.com. Changing the industry, one artist at a time.
Yeah, that was a groove. But like the young people said, that was a bop.
That was a pop.
Well, not, today they say it's a vibe.
It's a vibe.
Oh.
There you go.
Oh, I've heard bop too. So
Good evening. Good evening.
So real quick, during the music video, Sophia says, "Always with the words of wisdom, Miss Sunshine."
always.
Natalia, she said, "I agree. Mama's boys, self-proclaimed, are not all codependent upon their mothers. It's oftentimes young men who are well socialized, etc., who love and have the utmost appreciation for their mom. They don't have a codependent relationship with their mothers."
That's right.
I can test
Nice.
that.
Agreed.
Nice.
Good evening, Solrez.
Good evening, Solrez. Real quick, we always got to throw something unrelated into the thing. Who's being terrorized by the pollen this year?
It didn't get me today, but it sure got me last night when I was working out.
I'm always terrorized by the pollen, the ragweed. That's why it puts when I work long hours and come home, I'm tired because I'm walking into it right in the morning and in the evening.
Dang.
I haven't had this kind of problem with my hay fever, with my allergies, spring allergies, since I want to say middle school, y'all. Like I like to sleep with wind. Huh?
Because the pollen is on steroids.
Oh man. I'd like to sleep with my windows open, especially now that it's a little warmer and you can, instead of having the heat on, it's the time of year where you don't have anything on, heat or air, and you kind of have the window open. You can wrap up in the blanket and you can hear hear the birds and stuff. Okay, anyway, that's me. But I wake up and my face is just swollen and my nose is stopped up. And I mean, I close the doors now, but at the same time, as soon as I go outside, and I don't like taking allergy medicine because it makes you tired, it makes you sleepy. So I don't know. Does anybody on the panel know anything that can be utilized for allergies?
If you take something for allergies, you need to take it when you're resting. The best thing is to take it at night. Really, technically, anything you take, including supplements, the best time to take it is in the evening.
Yeah.
Is because when the body is at rest, that's when it does its
it works better.
Process, and it prepares you for the next day.
Okay.
Nice.
And that's why I'm a testament to that, because I take allergy medicines, so I have to take it at night. Like as soon as I come home and I get settled for the afternoon, just before I eat, right before I eat, I take it. And then I make sure.
Not you, Martin.
Oh, okay.
Let's talk about some best things for allergies.
North Carolina is the best state in the union. I'm sorry. Like, you got everything here. You got the beach, the mountains, the plains. I mean,
well, I mean, you got the low country, you got the low part of South Carolina and Georgia. So yeah, you got the coast.
Yeah, but in North Carolina, the allergies was a different. Like, it was. I'm more at rest now than I was in Jersey, because then you also have to think about the pollen, the smog, the pollution that goes along with that. That's a lot of dust. That's a lot of mold. So, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I
agree with you.
Somewhere, like, even though Jersey is supposed to be the garden state, they really should have been named the industrial state. But,
yeah.
You know, coming to North Carolina, it's more, you know, natural air. The air quality is cleaner versus Jersey. So, like, my first spring, like, I got attacked one time, but it was like me getting used to my new environment, because in Greensboro sits in the valley. So Greensboro High Point is the worst for the pollen, because everything just drops right down in there. It just drops off, and it's like this. And then it just drops down and then keeps going. So, it's like, even with the snow, with the rain, you know, it's the same
everything.
pattern. But after that 1 year, after, you know, my lungs getting right to the new environment, like, I haven't had much problem. It's just, you know, when it's out on the car, when you could go like this, and it looks like a blanket that you could just peel back off of the car, then that's when it's real bad for me.
Dang.
Right. I just wish it would rain. That's what I want.
And it did trickle down a little bit today. Look, cleaned my truck before I can even take it to the car wash. Thank you.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
So check this out. We're going to get back to our mother-son dynamics, and we'll talk about, at this point, some evolving dynamics that everyone can touch on and give some insight about. We'll probably only be able to get through 2 in the next few, because there's so much to unpack in regard to mother and son dynamics evolving. Talking about sons as husbands. What are some things for our viewers? Of course, I want to call them middle pagers. We have to have a name for our people. You know, people have different names for their listeners or supporters, so we'll call them middle pagers. For our middle pagers, what can we give understanding and insight on in regard to sons as husbands? There's some women out there who son is about to get married or is married, and some women are mad, some women are happy, some women are well adjusted, some sons are not ready. Let's talk about that. What are some points in trying to, from the men's perspective, I suppose, what can a young man tell his mom in a nice way? Hey, mom, I got this. I love her, but you're still mom.
I got a point, unless Martin, you got something?
No, you go.
Okay. I remember this exact discussion All right, I'm gonna keep it 100.
Okay.
I had married a Puerto Rican, and my mom was pro-black, and she's the very fair-skinned Puerto Rican, where you would assume she's a white girl, if you will. And there was some kind of slightness towards her, so I had to talk to mom, and I said, "Listen, I understand you're my mom, but understand I'm cleaving to my wife." And I said, understand something. If we go outside of the house and the kids don't have on a coat, that's my responsibility, not yours. I'm not saying whether it's right or wrong, but what I'm saying is it's my decision, and you have to allow me to walk in that decision just like you did when you raised me. And I said it with respect. There was no disrespect at all, but I'm like, Mom, you got to let go and then allow my wife and myself to raise our kid.
I don't got the sound effects over here, so I'm creating my own right now.
So it was a tough pill for her to swallow, but I think she respected me more. She respected me more because I came to her like that, and I didn't diss her. I was just like, hey, you gotta let go.
She respected you more because in that moment you showed her that you was a man. You was the
even if it was something simple as that, and I love that.
She raised. That's what that was.
So the funny thing I tell everybody, I didn't grow up till I had kids. I mean, I got married at 29, and I didn't have my first kid till I was 29. But the growing up was at that point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they ain't got no choice.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's either going to grow you or break you.
And that line is real thin between the two.
Absolutely. Martin, what do you have to put into that pot?
Well, Troy, I had to grow up way before you at 23, because that's when my first son was born, when I was 23. I wasn't trying to actually have kids, but when he came, it changed my whole perspective because I was proud to be a dad. You know what I'm saying? And
trying.
But you did.
You wasn't trying. You ain't.
Yeah, please. Can you break that? You ain't gonna skate past that.
Pause.
Hold on.
Rewind. You know how this goes in the
world. Like Cedric did. Like Cedric Entertainer did in Kings of Comedy. Let me wind it, roll it back real quick. You know what I'm saying? Let me roll it back real quick. I didn't feel like when my son was born, I didn't think I wasn't prepared in my mind. But when he came, it made me appreciate, and I kind of I grew up quicker because I was already working. So that was automatic a plus. But I was excited more to be a father than regretting not being a father, if that made any sense. So but I think for me, because my mom, she has two expressions. When she's really happy, she's happy. When she don't approve of somebody, she's silent. She won't say much. Right. She'll send that wave out a lot, like, okay, you know what's up. But
that eye like this.
The one thing that I do appreciate from my mom, and I always say today, I wish she was here, because there's sometimes that I really be needing her words of wisdom, her encouragement, because anytime something's bothering me, I could always go to her, have conversation, and she always say, what decision, what you want to do? She say, don't allow nobody to judge you because you make a wrong decision. She said, not even myself. She said, even though I might not be happy with it, but she said, I respect your decision. So she allowed me to be the person that I want to be without judging me or saying, well, no, you need to do it this way, or intervene and trying to take over, because mothers do intervene and take over. You know what I'm saying? And, well, no, you need to do it this way. No, I got it. Let me do it this way. And you be like, Mom, I got it. No, son, I got it. Let me take care of it. Your mothers could be overbearing. My mom never been that way. She never been that way with none of her kids. You know, my brother, me, or my sister. She always provided us a good soundboard for us to where we could make mistakes but not being judged by it.
That's what's up. Okay.
So my son is not married yet or anything like that. If my son were ever to get married, no, let's just talk about, I guess, in a situation where it was like he had a girlfriend and he introduced me to her, and it wasn't even on, like, I've always wanted my kids to, like, you know, grow up and get out and do their thing. I come from a place where my mom, she literally did not want us to do anything but worship her. My mother's very narcissistic. I love my mom, but, you know, it is what it is. And so, you know, everything that she wanted from us, and she expected for us to stay in Greensboro and things of that nature. You're moving away? Oh no. And so, like, I did not want to be that way with my kids, especially with my son. And so, you know, when he was talking about moving to the West Coast and stuff like that, and he actually went to California, I didn't burn up his phone, even though I wanted to know where he was every moment, because I know the West Coast can be dangerous, you know, especially places where he was going. He was a skater at the time, so that culture and that environment can be a little bit bumpy. But he met a girl, and he, you know, was dating her for a little while and stuff, and I always told him to take it easy with women and stuff like that, and he did. He was with her for about 2 years before I even met her. And so, you know, that gave a good little time for them to develop a dynamic, and I could see how their relationship was and stuff. And so, you know, I didn't necessarily like her, but I didn't dislike her. It wasn't about like, I guess. It was more or less like I didn't necessarily like the things that she had on her mind as important. Characteristics of importance. Everything was like, I don't know, or I guess, or we'll see. But you know, they was 23 at the time, so that's okay, kind of. But some of the stuff like, are you going to finish school? She's like, I don't know, that type of stuff. When you're supposed to finish school, because that's the end point to it. But she's like, I don't know. So, you know, I had to pull him to the side a little later, because I waited till he asked me how I felt. And I was like, I just think that she needs to have a little bit more understanding about what she wants to do with herself before she enters into something with you any deeper than what y'all are doing. And he got quiet, but he also told me that he appreciated that. I think that's the closest I ever came to giving any type of criticism to a woman in regard to my son. But he's always been open to talk to me about dates and stuff, or like if a date bombed, it's like he'll call me like, Mom, guess what? She sucked, you know, or he would always, you know, give me the scoop, I guess, onto the innards of his life in regard to, you know, dating women and stuff like that. So, you know, I like to think that giving sons the freedom to be able to make their choices is key in keeping that particular son on the same level as he has always been with mom, rather than dealing with it in an adverse way. Sunshine, you want to pick up on that? I mean, of course, we know you got young sons, but, you know, let's just imagine, you know.
So mine ain't no time soon, but, you know, we do have those conversations. We have been in situations where we've had to force the issue to have it. And did I bow out? No, I stood up, stood firm on my square, and had the conversation. We even had the condom conversation already. You know, we had that 3 years ago, 2 years ago. So, you know, because, and for the lack of better words, you know, parents, get about your feelings.
Yeah.
It's not when we was young. If you don't start hitting them early with the stuff that's out here already hitting them early, like you are their first line of defense to counteract that mess. So if you're not addressing it, by the time you choose to address it, it's going to be far too late. So regardless of what anybody say, like I said, what you do for your child is what you do, but you also have to remember the times that we're in. It's different.
Yeah.
Even though in some spaces we may be able to still leave our doors unlocked depending on the neighborhood that you live in, but outside of that, what they're exposed to, social media, what they're exposed to in these school systems, like literally, not to bring it up, but what we saw on social media, what happened with the substitute teacher and that high school student.
Oh no, bring it up.
There's elementary school students that are doing that.
Right.
That it's not being recorded, it's not being put on social media is because elementary schools, for the most part, do enforce the no cell phone policy on grounds. But there's literally been 3 that I've had to stop from punching a teacher in the face.
Wow.
Just because I was right there. And these are students that are in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. Jeez. So if you are not doing what's necessary as a mother, as a father that is in the home, as a father that is outside of the home, it's not an excuse if you're not in the home. If you're outside of the home as a father, you need to be even more present because you do not know what that mother is putting into that child, regardless if it's the daughter or the father. And this is nothing against the mom, but the purpose of having the 2 is to create the balance.
Yeah.
Correct.
You know, so if one is a little outlandish with all of their knowledge and information, you need the other one to be able to take what this parent said and break it down and make it a little plain and be like, no, hold on. Okay. Yeah. Let's revisit this. And let me give you the meat and potatoes on why your father or your mother said that. You get what I'm saying? Because sometimes we just get so caught up in the feelings of our emotions of trying to relay information that we don't take the necessary steps to break it down even further than what we thought we did.
Yeah.
You know, you got to make it plain.
That's right. You have to. So there won't be any in between or any doubt about what to do. Yeah. Let's take it to that video. Some people are talking about the teacher was wrong, but hold up. I ain't trying to be funny. And I mean, I'm a stand-up citizen. You know, I got a really great criminal record. You know, I don't have one. That's why it's great. But if I was a teacher and that student was coming to me like that, and I felt really, that woman flight or fight response kicked in. Like that woman needed to defend herself. Who was going to defend her?
That was premeditated on that little girl's part anyway, because she told the same ones that she was screaming that wasn't helping her and that was just sitting there watching was the same ones that you told to record because you was about to go in her mouth. You got what you wanted, boo-boo. I don't feel no type of way. I don't. I don't. To me, that in order to take my emotions out of it, I had to look at it as 2 women on the street fighting.
Yeah.
And she was being very audacious. If you have the audacity.
She was very disrespectful. So it's like, where your mammy? Who is your mammy? Because like TK Kirkland said, who raised you? That's all I want to know.
Facts.
I ain't seen that face. I ain't seen a post from them yet or what. I want to know who raised you.
She's got to be talking to her mother the way she's got to be talking negatively to her mother to even be able to approach an adult figure in that way.
To feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And then, you know what? A little sidebar. You know what? I can't stand y'all on social media. Because, you know, when people get to sharing the information and stuff, why I got a mutual friend with the substitute.
I'm here for the comments.
And I thought her face looked familiar.
Right.
Oh boy.
And I looked, I said, I said, now I knew. Nah. As soon as I saw the mutual friend, I said, oh yes, that is who it is. But at the same token, I wouldn't treat her no less if I seen her on the street. I'd have just been like, sis, you crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, Chris Rock, remember the whole OJ thing when he said he shaked the mess out of her? He said, I didn't say you did it, but I understand. That would be my comment to her. Hey, I'm not saying you was right, but I understand. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because it's about that personal space, and you know, again, with the way these kids are exposed to way more stuff, and they have access to way more things, so you can't be like
passive.
Yeah, you can't let everything roll off. Now, if you don't have that gift of discernment, then you stuck. Because when working with children, you need to be a person that has the gift of discernment, because you should be able to see who will and who will not, you know what I'm saying, act in certain ways. Yeah. Like, you know, we always knew that friend or that classmate that always had a whole bunch of mouth that would get rah, but would never do nothing. It's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, but because of I would say the infiltration of all the different stigmas that's out there, and, you know, with the social media and this and that, like, these babies are still struggling even up until they graduate from high school now, still trying to identify who they are. It was different with us. It's not so.
It really was.
It's not so much the same anymore. It's because a classic case, you know, like segregation. Did we actually thrive more segregated than now being integrated? Sit back and really take an honest look at that. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no balance. Before there was a balance, but now there isn't, because now you have to fit a certain mold or a certain criteria in order to look like us and to progress. You know what I'm saying? But before, you know, with the segregation, like, everybody got in where they fit in and everybody was taken care of, and it was really an honest village, and it thrived, and everyone prospered. You know, not the dynamic of some over other. Everybody prospered.
So if you do this, if you do that, if you do this, if you do that, it was like a greater chance of success.
Yep. So it's, you take that same type of aspect and carry it over into this. It's the same thing. A lot of people try to disconnect it, but everything we need is right here in our faces. We just got to tap into it as a whole.
That's right. So yes, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up tonight with the mother-son dynamic. I want to thank everybody on the panel for coming through. Any last moment thoughts? Maybe about 30 seconds per person, because we got to get out of here. Any insight for our middle pagers for their mother-son dynamic relationship, how to keep it solid?
That is a fact. So Riz.
Yep. Just continue, you know, I think having that communication and learning, you know, and everything is not going to be easy. You know, as us as parents, we try to, you know, teach our kids the best how to be responsible, you know. And like Sunshine said, you know, with the society today, society is so crazy right now, and you really got to reel them in more so than ever before. Because when we was growing up, we didn't have to worry about so much, you know. So our parents, you know, mold us into the way they want, you know, how we are today. But now, you know, our kids, and you know, they're gonna end up having kids too. So you know, you have to continue that structure for them. So, you know, continue to be a vessel and a teacher.
Yeah. Definitely don't be afraid to discipline your kids, because I'm telling you, love comes in all forms, and discipline is a form of love. Even though it's hard, in the long run, you'll appreciate it. And that's facts.
Where Bernie met when you need him.
To the white meat.
Right.
And Sunshine, you got a little bit of insight, about 30 seconds worth before we get out of here.
She said, "It's my birthday."
It's my birthday. That's my insights. It's my birthday.
That's right. That's
I
right.
gave it up throughout the podcast. So my insights is it's my birthday. It's my birthday. It's my pop's birthday. Rest in peace. Rest in peace to my sister.
R.I.P. Action Jackson.
My sister Amika, because today is also her birthday. She passed 6 months after my big sister Tay Tay. And you know, shouts out to Black Son. He was murdered, but we all share the same born day. Those are my peoples, my ancestors that's working up there, making it happen for us. So you know, I still got 2 more hours to go.
So we're going to go ahead and get out of here so you can enjoy your last 2 hours of your born day. I want to thank everybody for checking in. Thanks to all of our listeners, Elliot, Soul Res, Ital, Miss Sophia. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Sophia. That show is a pretty name.
If you're first time listening, make sure that you subscribe to Blast Music 24/7 because there's also lots of other great programming on Blast, including Shine Vibrations. Soul Res has a great show called The Blast Off. We got Rats, we got Lena Unapologetic, and so many other great shows on Blast. Check us out. Also follow us on Instagram at info.middlepage. That's info.middlepage. I'm sure to see W. Dela Cruz. And check us out every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Middlepage Podcast. Thank you.
Peace.
Peace.